from raising their 18th championship banner at TD Garden, and they're doing it in dominating fashion. After winning 4-1 against both the Heat and the Cavs, Boston swept the Pacers, and they're on their way to sweeping the Mavs. If the Celtics win the title, they may want to send a thank you card to the Bucks, who traded away Jrue Holiday in the Damian Lillard trade last offseason. Holiday's the first player to average 15 points while committing 0 turnovers over a 3-game span in the finals since 1990. Joel Embiid inquired on social media last night, asking simply, did the Bucks give them the championship? Brian Windhorst back here with us. Windy, I'll ask you this. Is Embiid right?
No, the Celtics have a lot going for them. But I will say it's a bit of a journey to evaluate the Dame Lillard trade that I've been on and others have been as well. At the outset of the trade, you looked at it and said, man, the Bucks just raised their ceiling and increased their chances because of the offense that they added. But as soon as Jrue Holiday ended up with the Celtics, which was just a few days, I thought that their net positive was really narrowed. They were ahead, but I really thought that they contributed to helping their primary opponent get better. But then, a couple of weeks later, Giannis signed a contract extension, and you can't disregard that when you evaluate that trade. He signed that contract extension because he was so excited about teaming up with Dame Lillard. And so I have to calculate that in. But now I look at how great the Celtics look, and I see that they've extended Jrue Holiday, and I would expect them to extend Derek White, and I do think they'll be able to bring almost this exact team back next year and see that this team will be definitely the favorites to repeat, is my guess. I have to even go back another step and reevaluate it again, Stephen A. So that series of transactions, which was not just the Dame Lillard trade, but the one that brought Jrue Holiday to Boston, ends up being one of the most consequential we've had in years in the NBA.
It's consequential, and you're right about everything you're saying. The flip side to that, however, though, Wendy, is that, you know, the impetus for this question was Joel Embiid's comments. And so just simply dissecting where he's coming from, well, you could say he's wrong, or you can challenge Joel Embiid in this regard. What the hell are you, chopped liver? You're the reigning league MVP coming into this season.
Right.
If you were healthy with the elevation of Tyrese Maxey, what are you saying? You could not have beaten Boston? Is that what you're telling the basketball world? Because Boston and their moves and Milwaukee and their moves had nothing to do with Philly. Joel Embiid, you still there? If you healthy, what you trying to say? If you're healthy with Tyrese Maxey, what you trying to say? What are you trying to say about Tobias Harris? What are you trying to say about Nick Nurse and Daryl Morey? What are you trying to say about the roster that you have in Philadelphia? So one could ask that question to Joel Embiid. Secondly, when you look at Milwaukee, okay, are you saying they did it intentionally? I don't think they did. I'm not sure you knew Boston was going to get Jrue Holiday. But even if you did, you certainly felt higher about Damian Lillard. Giannis Antetokounmpo was the one that supported Adrian Griffin being the head coach. He obviously had supported him being gone. And Doc Rivers is there now. So what are you trying to say about the Milwaukee Bucks in terms of what their intent was? And last but not least, when we look at Boston, even though we had them as the prohibitive favorites, obviously them being stacked and loaded in the same breath, Denver wasn't supposed to have what happened to them happen to them. We didn't see Minnesota coming, okay?
That's true.
And obviously we didn't see the Dallas Mavericks coming. So there are an abundance of layers to this with Joel Embiid's remarks to dissect. But the only thing we can really point to or really ask ourselves invasively, what are you trying to say, Joel Embiid? That Milwaukee did something intentionally? In the end, what are you saying about yourself? Because if Joel Embiid is healthy, with a healthy Tyrese Maxey, we can't summarily dismiss what Philadelphia would bring to the table and whether or not Philly could have given Boston a run for their money, because we know there's no answer for a healthy Joel Embiid. He's unstoppable.
I will say this, Molly. I will say this. Last year, the Celtics were close but not good enough to winning the championship. They went out and made 2 major acquisitions with Porzingis and Jrue Holiday. Philadelphia has 2 All-Stars in Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, a whole bunch of salary cap space, and tradable first-round picks. This is the summer that the 76ers could make a couple of acquisitions that could change the paradigm in the Eastern Conference.
Absolutely. And guys,
Absolutely.
don't forget,
Absolutely.
I mean, Miami didn't have Jimmy Butler and a bunch of guys either. They could have knocked somebody else off or put in some work as well.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Think I'm gonna try to wear, I pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA over here,